I'm Haja from acadsystems KL, so we're going to continue for now. All right, so for the first one is that what we're going to show is that how we can link one model to another. So there is a two option here. Either you can use the cloud or you can also use the local drive for you to link to the or other external file inside the Revit. So I'm going to open on the Revit here. I have been setting up the project and then I want to link to the other file. So the first one option is that how you basically do, you can either use from your local desktop or you can also from the docs, the cloud. So for the docs, you have to have the Autodesk docs. All right. So for the first one, to link to the external file, usually you have to also have installation to the Autodesk desktop connector. So this is our desktop connector that actually link to your on your desktop where you can find them on your PC and then you can find your Autodesk docs. So this allow you to access those documents that you have uploaded into the cloud by using Revit, and then you can also use some if you want to work offline on your desktop, right? So for instance, now I'm opening from my desktop, the desktop cloud, the cloud storage, and then I want to link to the site DWG file that I have uploaded into the site. I either can upload to the storage on the cloud, or I can also go to my PC, the Autodesk docs that I have installed by using the Autodesk desktop connector. So I open them and I find the project under this file, and then I find the folder where I want to upload those files. For instance, here we have the civil, and then I want to transfer from my desktop. Let me just share the screen now. All right. So here I have my PC with the Autodesk docs, as you can see, and then this is where I can have access to the cloud storage from my desktop. So I just click on the Autodesk docs, I find the account, I find the project, and then go to the folder that I want to upload this file. Right. Let's say that from this to the civil, and then I find from here I'm going to find the folder that I want to share with the other team. So let's say that this site contour drawing, I can just drag them into this desktop, and when we upload and then put them on under the Autodesk docs, is not only shown on your desktop, it will also shown on your cloud that you have shared with the other team member, and then it will also shown on their desktop by using the Autodesk desktop connector. All right, so this one that I have uploaded now. All right, so on the Revit, if I want to link to the SCAD file on the cloud, so I can just click on the insert link pad, and then I can go to the on my computer and I can go to Autodesk docs. I can find on the project file where I have uploaded those documents, this drawing. So I have here the site contour that I want to link to this survey. All right, so I have the option to either want to preserve the layer color. As you see now inside my preview, I have those green and also a yellow color line. So either if I want to use only the black and white, so I can just go for the black and white color. All right, welcome to a new who just joined us for now. All right, so I can also select the positioning if I want to go on the origin to internal origin or by shape coordinate. By the default, the best option is to use origin to internal origin unless you have your own site survey coordination where we can use the by shape coordinate. So now I'm going to use origin to internal origin, and I just click on place at level 0 and I click on open. All right, so this will link to your desktop. All right, so you see now there is none of those view are being just now there is a warning that is another tips that we're going to see after this. All right, before that I'm just going to link to another one file from my Revit where I want to link to the house file. So I just click on the link Revit. So this is another one where we can directly link to from our local desktop. So I'm going to toggle into my desktop where I have all the houses here. Right, so I'm also going to use internal origin to internal origin here. That is actually the best option for the linking inside the Revit. Right, so I'm going to open the view. Just this one. All right, I see that another one is coming. Welcome, Arif, for joining the Zone 2 free online lesson. We just get started for now. I'm just going to see what happens. All right. So I'm going to go. Let me just wait a moment here. Okay. Bear with me. All right. So if you see that now on my side, I cannot find those side contour. And also there's a pop-up element that show there's an arrow with the visibility and graphics. So that is the next step that we want to see. The next thing is about the visibility setting. On the Revit here, if I go back onto my Revit where I cannot find those contour, but on my elevation, I can find them on the top here. This is in regard to the view range. If I also open my floor plan, I only can see the house. I cannot find those contour on my side as well, and perhaps on the ceiling plan and in the other view. So this is where you want to set up first your view range. Usually what I do for my site, I always go for the view range unlimited. So this will have the unlimited for the top and also bottom. And so wherever your site content, if it is up from the sea level by any kind of the value, you can find them on the site. So what I will do, I'm going to open the site here, and on my properties, I go to the view range and I go to edit here. This is where we want to set up the view for that floor plan that we opened, so that we can see any kind of the element on that. So I'm going to put on the top for unlimited here, and then I'm also going to click on apply and I click on OK, where I can find those my contour line now. So now when I go for a view range and I click on edit, you can see that if we associate onto only the level 1 or level 2, that will be only below them where the file is actually being having them. So if I go back to unlimited and I click OK and I open the elevation, so I have my level 0 put on this one, and then my level 1 on this top. So if I only set up the view range up until the level 0, you cannot view whatever you have put below above than the level 0. So this all on the level 1. All right. So on my side now, where I can see those view range. Okay, I can find my site contour now, and then I also have my Revit house being linked together. Another setup that I want to show you is that for reposition and also coordinate on the linked file. So just now, if I go back to the elevation, right, so you can see that the house is actually put on the elevation at 0 here. Where I have the site contour around 12000 mm above from the sea level. So if I want to reposition them, okay, usually if for the elevation, what we would do is that we just go for this file, and then we can move them to the right elevation level. I click on this open from my elevation. I click on this house file, and I click on the move. And I will select the level 1. You see that because the house on the architecture model that we set up on the 0, not from the sea level view. So that's why you have the difference here. So, and then I'm going to select from the level 1. I'm also putting on here, if you notice that it's under the constraint. So the constraint move only allow you to move 90 degrees. All right, welcome to CLW. All right, so now I'm going to move them by 120, where I have my site contour, the sea level, so I can just type in 120,000 and I click on enter, and it will reposition to where it should be. Those files actually should be. All right, so let me just admit all the person here. All right, so now we have those architecture model on the site contour at the right elevation. You can either, because we only shared those, we changed those elevation. If let's say that I want to see, let's say that if whenever I open back the architecture model, I also want to see those level are being changed, I can either choose not share here, and I share those this coordinate, the now coordinate that I have changed and then send back to the architecture model. So let's say that I want to use them. I can use this publish the current to the house Revit for the coordinate that I have changed. But let's say that I don't want to change the real coordinate on the architecture model, but later I just want to view them for the site points and also for the project point. I want to see both of them. So I'm going to click not publish here for the shared coordinate. Because it's only changing the elevation. Usually, if you change the position, the north, the position, the angle of that her house, you want to use the shared coordinate. But now I'm not going to use the shared coordinate. All right. So what I'm going to do now, if you see that this is the level 1 is starting from the sea level by 12000 mm here, or 120 meter here. Okay. So I'm going to click on the all right, manage link. I'm going to unload them first for now. All right, so you can always reload them back. Don't worry about that. It doesn't have any issue for this. It's even better for you to actually unload them if you are not using them, so that you can reduce the performance of your using the Revit by the graphic card. It's better to unload them if you're not using them. So after that, I'm going to go to the file and then go to open those house. If you want to open the linked model inside the house, you have to unload them first before you can open them. All right, so over here where I can see that these level are being set at 0, and then these around 3 meters. So let's say that I want to also see whenever I want to change them, I also want to see them from the level from the sea level elevation. So what I'm going to do is first thing I'm going to go to manage here on the top, and then I'm going to go to coordinate, and I'm going to specify coordinate at point. I'm going to select the level 1, all right, and then I'm going to put on the true elevation here, so 1200, and I click on OK. So you still cannot see them now. But when I click back those level and I go to edit type here, all right, so you have the elevation base are being set up at the project base point, which is at the 0. So I can also use the survey point to see them, and I click on the survey point and click on OK. All right, so now we show the survey point level elevation, the true elevation here. So if I want to go back to that for the project base point, I can always go to edit type on that level, and an elevation base point. I'm going to go back to project base point and I set up them back at the 0 here. So you always can use that as a reporting elevation if you want to. All right, so I'm going to close for this one and click for save changes. All right, welcome to who just joined us for now. Now we are at the tree where we want to link one model to another by using the reposition and also coordinate. The next thing that I want to share is that link one model to another is the difference between using the attachment versus the overlay. So if you link your model, Revit model to other host model by using the attachment, that means that you contain those link together with them. So if you just put on the overlay, it will not be contained. So what is that mean by? Right, so I'm going to go back to Revit here. All right, so I'm going to go back to the manage on the top. I'm going to go back to manage link and then reload them back. All right, so over here we have the option to choose either I just want to overlay or I want to put them as attachment. So over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on the overlay and I click on OK here. I'm going to save this project first. So I'm just going to name this A1. Okay, save. All right, so if I open, I create another project here. And then I link back those A1 project. All right. Let's just click on close all of the other things here. All right, so you see that this will pop up where the next link is now, the house Revit will not appear because we set them on the overlay. But if you set them as attachment, it will also show on the other project that we link to this, the origin, the host model. So click on OK, and then it will not show that house. I'm going to go back to the file, and then let me just go back to the manage link and then unload this one. And then click on OK, and then go back to open this A1. So let's say that you want to pass those files to your contractor, but you don't want them to get those linked files, so you can just put them on the overlay. But otherwise, if you want also included those linked file, you can set up back on this as attachment. So if I click back on this as attachment and then save back them, and then close back this file, and then go back to the insert, and then link back to this Revit file. You find those finish link, and then reload back this one. Okay, let me just go open my level here. So I can see that those houses are being attached together because they are part of the attachment. All right, so this one also you can back to set up them by selecting them, those files, and then select either you want to overlay or attachment again. All right, so I'm just going to close the file and then click on open the A1 because I want to use this one. All right, the next thing that we want to see, the last thing that I want to share is about the copy and monitor this file. So copy and monitor is the best practice if you want to have the review, you want to monitor if there is any changes to the to the level, to the grades, to the wall that have in the Lyon linked file, and then you want to review them back whenever there is any changes to that linked file. So what I'm going to do is that from here, first thing first, you can go to your manage. Yeah, let me just go back here. All right, so I can click on, just find where is the copy and monitor under the collaborate here. Okay, so I can go to copy and monitor. So I'm going to select the link because this is attachment as a link. I'm going to select this Revit link. All right, so you can use them to copy first those level because we want to also, before you can monitor them, you have to copy first. But if you already copy them, for instance, I already have this level 1 and this level 1, I can just select on monitor, and then select on my level, and then select on this architecture model, and that will pop up that show that these level are being monitored now. Okay, but now if I don't have this level 2, I have to copy them first. I click on the copy and then select on this level 2. And then you can see that it will auto monitor as well when you click on the copy and where I can find those pop up. All right, so now I'm going to click on the finish on the top here. So those both level are now being monitored. What does that mean by if, let's say, I'm going to go back to this house file and I make some changes to this level, you can see that what happened to them. All right, so I'm just going to click on the manage and the manage link to unload them back. All right, and I click on OK. So I'm going to open back the house project. All right, so over here, let's say that I make some changes to this level. So let's say that this is going to be renamed to the roof, and then click on the corresponding renaming. And also over here for the level evaluation, so let's say I'm going to change some slightly bit. Click on enter, so there will be some changes to the level. All right, and then I just click on the save for this file. And click on close, and then go back to this post file where I can go back to the manage link and reload them back. Okay, so you see that this warning will come up whenever there is any changes to the monitoring items that we have created. The coordination review is needed, and I just click on OK on that. I just click on OK from here. Okay, so if I click on this house, I can find them under the coordination review. So I click on that coordination review. And then over here, I can find what kind of the issue, what kind of the changes that have been created. So let's say that here the maintain name, the level have been changed, the name, the level have been moved by 952 mm. So if I expand them, I can also find from which one file. So this is from the house file, this is from our file. And I also can select what kind of the action that I want to show, I want to create. But before I do that, if let's say that I want to see them, I can open the related view. I can also go for selecting them and then click on a show to open this view. And then what you see now, whenever we're clicking them, it will show which one those items are being making changes. Okay, so it will be highlighted in a blue. All right, so for here, let's say that these have been changed, the level have been changed from the level to the roof. The action, I can either choose them, either I want to reject them. If I reject them, it will go back to the architecture model and then give this back to the renaming to the level 2. So if I put on the accept different, both file will keep both name accordingly. So mine will be keeping as a level 2, the architecture model keeping as a roof. If I put on the rename element level 2. So now my model, I'm going to rename those 5 back according to the architecture model. So let's say that I'm going to rename those accept the different, and this one also I'm going to put on the region, and I click on apply. Do nothing here. So so you see that now over here, level moved by 952, the architecture model keeping at 4,000, and then they will get back those warning about this, but our level are being maintained at the level, this value, the original one, and now not being moved, right? All right. So that is for if you want to copy and monitor, and then you can always use them for coordinating your model. So just another one bonus here. I have completed those all tips, but just another one bonus here on here. If let's say that for the for your floor plan, if I go open one of the floor plan here, we just find those floor plan that I have seen and copy them. Here. All right, so this is especially if you are modeling for MEP, where you want to also create spaces for your heat and also cooling load analysis. So if you go to analyze on the top here, and then I can create the spaces before I can conduct those analysis. So if I click on the space here, you see that I cannot selecting the room that have been defined by the original file. So this architecture file have already created this room as parking spaces. This is as a gallery, but I cannot find them on these my spaces. So what I want to do is that if I selecting this linked model and I click on edit type, so I can turn on those room bounding, the original room that have been defined by the architect. So I click on OK. And I go back to analyze and I click on the space and I go to here. Now it will read the room according to what have been defined by the original plan. So I can click on them, put on the spaces. All right, so this just if you want to bring back the spaces. And then you see that now it's renamed according to space 1, 2, and also 3. But if I want to rename according to what architect have renamed them, the original file have renamed them, I can go back to the space here where I have the space naming. So I just click on the space naming here, and I can click on the names and number if I want to bring forward those names and number. And I can also choose which levels I want to copy this naming. Otherwise, I'm going to use all level for now. And I click on OK. And that will rename according to what architect model have inside the model. All right, so that's pretty much that's for working workflow in the Revit. Just for collaboration here, if you want to turn on the collaboration with the cloud, you need to have the access to BIM Collaborate Pro. But if you want to link to your cloud file, you only need to have the Autodesk docs. So there are two different there that I'm not going to specify. I'm not going to talk for today for BIM Collaborate Pro. So I'm just talking on just now for accessing your file on the cloud by using the Autodesk docs. So I'm just going to recap back for those who just joined us for today. What we have seen on this 2-day file for Revit collaboration workflow is that managing them. First one is that you can link to your model to external file by using the local or cloud storage. But if you want to access your cloud storage, you need to have the Autodesk docs. Autodesk docs is also being included inside the AEC collection, so you can always access them if you have the AEC collection. The second one is that if you go to your desktop, if you want to use the Autodesk docs on your linked external file on Revit, you need to have the desktop connected. So this one, I'm going to paste on this here. This is completely free, the desktop connected. If let's say that you want to go and install those extensions, you can just go to these pages and then you can install those desktop connected. And then on your Revit, you can find them whenever you want to link to your file on your desktop. You can find your desktop Autodesk docs here, the cloud storage, and then find your folder. All right, so that is the first one. The second that I've shared for today is that if for the visibility setting just now, if you cannot see the items on your the items on your plan on your site, always check on the view range. The first one is that we always check on the view range and click edit. Set them unlimited for the site, and also if you have water below the sea level, you want them to have unlimited as well, so that you can view them on the site. That is the best practice one. And then also on the other plan, you can set according to where the position of your contour. And another one is that if let's say you link to the other kind of the model, let's say that you have Revit MEP, Revit structure, and then you cannot find them on your floor plan, you want to ensure that under the display you put on coordination. So coordination will show all different traits of the model, but if you only have the architecture, it will not show those structure elements. Okay, and then the next thing that we have talked about is that about reposition and coordinate. Just now I talked about how you can check those coordinate by using the check coordinate here. So if you make adjustment to your external file and when you want to see them back on your Revit model, the original one, you can select them and then check coordinate here and then publish the true coordinate to the original file and then just on-site and back to the original file, and that will be shown. All right, the next thing is that we talk about attachment versus overlay. So if let's say that you want to include those linked file to the under the host file, you want to send them as attachment. If just you want just to use them as reference, and that will not be shown on any linked file that you want to use them, then you use the overlay. And then the last one that we talk about is using the copy on monitor. If you want to track any changes that have been created by the original file, and also if you change those model inside your host file here. So let's say if I go back to level here. Okay, if I make changes to this level and I click on roof, also click on enter, and I click on this coordination review, that will be shown some of the whatever we have made those changes, we also shown on this coordination review. I think that's pretty much for tips for collaboration. It's more on the linked file before you can start collaborating and your design. So if you have any question, just feel free to pop up inside the chat bar. Otherwise, I'm just going to share that if let's say that you want to see back on this YouTube on this workflow, you can always go back to our acadsystems website, and then you can go down below where you can find our free online lessons, or you can also go down below where we have our YouTube channel. All right, so over here, you just find from here what kind of the workflow that you want to see them, what kind of the topic that you want interested to see them back, and then you just type in and then you can find those topics inside this acadsystems YouTube channel. Thank you everyone for joining us on today's free online lesson. I'm going to stop for now if there is no question. All right, thank you and have a nice day. Bye.